So President Muhammadu Buhari last week again directed security chiefs to rescue all persons abducted during the Kaduna train attack and other persons still in captivity as well. So according to the National Security Advisor, Babagana Munguno, who briefed the press after the meeting with service chiefs, the president was saddened by the security situation in the country and demanded immediate action from the security chiefs. Well, now, this is not the first time something like this is actually happening. The president will be giving such an order to the security agencies, and that will form the basis of our discussion this morning. So right here in the studio, we're being joined by a security consultant, Mr. Stephen Okori. He's right here in the studio with us. Good morning.
Thank you.
And of course, via telephone from Kano is another security consultant, Dr. Yahuza Ahmed. You're welcome as well. All right, let's start with you, Mr. Okori.
Yes.
The president usually gave marching orders to the security chiefs to go and rescue everybody that has been abducted or still in captivity. And this is not the first time that we're seeing something like this. Can we expect anything different?
Yeah. You see, when I hear that president gives marching order, it beats my imagination. Because I feel that the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, as amended, has already given the service chiefs the marching orders, because they were cleared by the National Assembly, and the Constitution already mandates them to carry out such tasks, in the event where issues like this come up. So I think that, excuse me, I think that maybe the marching order is to see how to put them on their toes, but for me, the Constitution already gives them the marching order, to carry out rescue activities like that. But I want to say that this is not the first time. What was the outcome when the president gave that same orders, when we had issues emanated from kidnapping activities? So we just hope that this is like, in the next couple of days, like 2 days, it will be like a month that they were adopted or kidnapped. So I just hope that the marching orders will bring out actions and they will see the result at the end of the day.
Okay, now, ordinarily, the presidential order should have, elicited, hope for the families of those who have been kidnapped and the nation as a whole. But we're not seeing that happening. Would you say that Nigerians have actually lost confidence in this administration?
You mentioned hope, and I'm happy that you used the word hope. And what is hope? We just keep hoping that something nice or good will come out. We expect good news at the end of the day, but for me, this is it has taken too long. Having their loved ones in captivity for a month now, it goes to show that they won't have confidence in the security agency or the government. So the way you mentioned hope, we just keep hoping that something good result will come out of the orders that the president has given to the security agencies. But you see, it is important that they quicken whatever actions or the way they want to go about it. Because I heard reliably that the terrorists have put up some conditions, that the government or the security agencies have like 16 of their commanders and sponsors, when kidnappers or terrorists go into such act, there are certain conditions they put, either it's for ransom or for conditions like their commanders or whoever the government has in their custody should be released. And this is one of the conditions they have put forward. But it still doesn't stop them from collecting ransom, So, and the government is looking at those conditions as very tall order, on their part to see how they will now release 16 of their commanders, And we've seen where the government released commanders like that. And they still didn't change their ways. They still went back into the act of kidnapping and terrorizing Nigerians, So what's the hope that, or the possibility that if these 16 commanders are released, they will change from these ways to a way that they won't be going back to such act anymore? So the government is between the deep blue sea and the devil, So they have to get that assurance that if they release them, they won't go back to such act. Yes. We have seen where government also paid ransom, but they still deny that they did not pay, and such monies was used to acquire more ammunition and arms to see how to carry out the act.
Okay.
All right, so Dr. Huza Ahmed, let me come to you with this. We just touched about the issue of negotiating with these terrorists as it is right now, and but a lot of countries, or a lot of governments have this policy of not negotiating with terrorists. Do you feel the negotiation is the right way to go?
Well, I think the negotiation is a kind of exposing or kind of telling Nigerians how weak the Buhari administration is. It's exposing and exhibiting the incompetency, inability, and the lack of courage and confidence, and lack of the agility and the confidence and trust on itself, and also explaining and the kind of exposing the issues around lack of coordination mechanism between the National Security Advisor and the supervising agencies which he is supposed to have been supervising, that is the security and intelligence bodies. However, in any part of the world, there are a kind of when you have a weak system, that is the weakest part of system that you have to go and negotiate with non-state actors. We have to also take back to the day the event happened. I lost 3 of my friends in the same train attack, and I also lost a daughter, which is a daughter to one of my closest associates and the closest friends and the classmates. Their soul rest in perfect peace. And I still have some lying on the hospital. So I have a first-hand information from those who were hurt and those who were lucky to have escaped, not to be in the captivity and not to be killed by the coward or bandits or whosoever they may be. Yes, of course, for me, I believe as a foreign and criminal therapist, I believe these are bandits. They are not Boko Haram. They are not any other thing that people are talking about because of the mode of operandi and so many other reasons that I may not disclose them on air. So I believe spending 1 hour, 47 minutes, because it takes the security 1 hour, 47 minutes for them to arrive at the scene, which is just a 15-minute drive to Urugasa, so which is less than or around 20-kilometer radius within Kaduna. It is sad and disheartening and disappointing that Buhari administration couldn't find a way of addressing or attending to this issue, and at the same time, even when these coward bandits or whatever, whosoever they may be, kidnappers, when they carted away a large number of people within just 20-kilometer radius, and they went away successfully, unchallenged. They went away with a huge number of people that they came along with the cars and buses, which they used to convey the people involved in the incident. So it is really a kind of, yes, of course, we want to see. Buhari administration have been given marching order and they have been given instructions to the security agencies, which have never been respected. We have the issues of Nasarawa, we have the issues of AK-47, whosoever is cited in AK-47 should be killed. And I have been arguing that all the security agencies are affirmed by Governor Nasir El-Rufai, whose confidence and theory of leadership I really commend for making it very clear that this is what I have been talking about in the last 7 years, or even more than that. Because I challenged even the good luck administration when they were in government that the Boko Haram are known, their locations are known, their hideouts are known, and they could have been challenged. So at the same time, all these bandits, I am from northern Nigeria, I am from an indigenous of Kano State of Gorzo local government area, and I know all criminals in Gorzo local government area, I know all their locations, and the district head of Gorzo cannot tell me that you don't know where the criminals are, and other warheads as well as police, as well as the security agencies operating or working around what is the local government area, and it is alike. All of us, no senator from northern Nigeria, no member of House of Representatives from northern Nigeria, no member of the State Assembly, no any head of parastatals or any government agency that is an Indian of northern Nigeria that can tell me that he or she don't know where these bandits are. So they are known.
Okay.
Their locations are known. Their hideouts are known. And as mentioned by Mala Nasser Ahmad Irfai, the security agencies are tracking even their calls, and they know their locations. They have been kind of they have a schematic scanning of where they are. So why are we wasting our time? Why are we deceiving the common man? Why are we leaving the masses and the common man in the mercy of the criminals, the bandits, the coward bandits, the coward kidnappers, as well as allowing the bilateral influence as well as the multilateral influence to kind of take over the authorities of our sovereign states.
All right, Dr. Yahuza.
We have so many ungoverned spaces in northern Nigeria, in northwest, in north central, in northeast, in south, in southwest, and southeast. So it means that the government is not committed, is not serious, and lack confidence, and have the public have lost confidence and trust on what administration as far as security of life and property is concerned.
Yes.
That
All right, Dr. Yahuza.
Some individuals are working hard to find a way of negotiating with bandits. And after how many days, it is now that the Buhari administration will just come up and deceive people and deceive Nigerians and giving the marching order. What have they been doing all this while? And what have they been doing that they were unable to construct these bandits when they take away these people within the 20-kilometer radius of Kaduna? And what have they been doing from the time the incidents happened? The security agencies was only able to be at the scene, to arrive at the scene after 1 hour 47 minutes.
All right, Dr. Yahuza. Dr. Yahuza.
And I lost three, and I lost a daughter.
Dr. Yahuza. Okay, so let's move on and forward the next question to Mr. Stephen.
Especially in relation to what is happening now in the northern western part of the country and north central among other things.
All right, Mr. Stephen, let's forward the next question to you. Now, Insecurity has actually claimed 23,000, according to reports, 23,134 lives in 31 months and 84,648 lives in 10 years. Now, a lot of people have actually advocated for, or are advocating for, state police, to actually help, with the insecurity situation in Nigeria instead of, community police. And now, do you actually think that would work? Or it's a solution?
If you ask me, I am a strong advocate of community-based policing because most crimes are local. Okay. So I've been advocating for the use of the local vigilante. Any forum I find myself, I try to see how to advocate for the use of local vigilante. Now, community policing, it's a philosophy. Is a model that the Nigerian police force went to borrow, from the Western world. Now you have borrowed the model from the Western world. You have brought it to Nigeria. We have to look at how we can apply it to make it work the way it is working in the Western world. Our own environment is very different, So now it's a model where the local community members collaborate with the police, the Nigerian police, to see how insecurity, crimes, and all that are managed within their local communities. That's the whole idea about community policing. So now, how do you make that work? You make that work in the sense that if you collaborate with the local vigilante, that one, they are more used to the environment than even the conventional security agents that we have. They are used to the terrain. They have lived in their communities for over years. They are used to the forest and all that within their communities. So when these conventional security agents, the police or the army, gets to their communities, they are aliens because they don't know anywhere within the community. So they need to synergize with the local vigilante, you know, to see how to carry out proper security management of their local communities. Now, if strangers come into that community, the local vigilantes are the first set of people that will identify foreigners or strangers in their communities. So now, if the police work hand in hand with them, and there's a means that they will communicate to the police in the event that they have either caught a criminal or whoever that cannot identify himself or to the communities, they will now draw the attention of the police. So the idea of community policing is a collaboration between the police and communities that they must, you know, keep in touch, you know, cooperate with each other and order to see how to manage these challenges we are talking. So for me, state police, the idea is okay, but we are talking about effective security management of our communities. How do you carry out that? For me, it's the application of the vigilante. We have seen where vigilante really worked. The civilian JTF is there, and what do you call this other one in the southwest, Amotekun and all that. And you know, Nigerians are even we are very good people in terms of community policing. Every community that you go, you must find some presence of local vigilante, you know. Like if you go to my community now, from my community in Benue, by the time I leave my community that I'm going to the next community, in the night you must pass 2 or 3 local vigilantes that have mounted roadblocks, you know. So for me, local vigilante is the way to go. And I expect that the Nigerian police, with the Commandant General of the Vigilante Group of Nigeria, should see how they will work together, you know. And for me, the government should see how to institutionalize vigilante. You know, we should not begin looking at the disadvantage of vigilantes alone. They have a lot of advantages
so
too.
they should be regulated and institutionalized.
Exactly.
Okay.
I have made that suggestions to the National Assembly before. You know, I did a paper to the National Assembly when especially the House of Reps, when they constituted the Committee on Special Security that was last year, and they made a presentation to the President. You see, so vigilante can close in that gap that the regular security agencies cannot meet up. You know?
All right, so community policing is the way to go, as far as you know.
It's a fantastic model.
All right. So, Dr. Huza, let me throw this to you. Which is the way to go? Do we do the state police? Do we do community policing, or do we do both?
Well, the community policing is necessary in any part of the world, and it's very necessary. Government should look into it because you cannot manage security without community policing. That is basic. But the state police don't have the maturity and capacity and capability to manage state police for so many reasons. That most of our governors are so irresponsible that they are even abusing the federal police now. They are using them for impunity. They are using them against their opponents. So as far as I'm concerned, I really commend the opinion of Mr. Stephen in respect to using kind of a local strategy in addressing the local problem. Because, like I made mention earlier, that all the members, there is no divisional police officer, no local security officer, no immigration officer, and no civil defense that are in 773 local governments that we have in Nigeria that is situated in any local government of in Nigeria, in any part where all these criminalities are happening, that a divisional police officer or local security officer or the civil defense commander or the unit commander of the immigration can tell me that they don't know where these criminals are. their locations are known. So since they are known, and our local vigilante have played roles in many circumstances, even though there are some shortcomings also from them, which is as a result of a lack of coordination mechanism between the conventional and non-conventional security system that we have. But if at all we can have a well-coordinated and well-organized system, it is very clear that we don't have enough personnel to face the challenges. But to personnel we have is not up to 18% of what Nigeria requires to face the present challenges of the security. Because in most cases you find out that you have only 40 police officers and men in the local government, whereby you have a population of in some cases over 3 million, 5 million, 10 million. How do you expect 40 police officers who are focusing on the local government chairman, the magistrate, the banks, and other institutions around? They don't even have enough manpower to manage even the police station itself. Talk less of leaving some in the police station, the station guard, and so on and so forth, providing protection to the chairman, the district head, the banks, the judiciary institutions, and so on and so forth. So we don't have enough personnel. So but government can utilize a strategy of probably adopting a kind of community-driven policy mechanism that will help in coordinating and working with a conventional system of security, so that they can kind of flush out and bring an end to this cowardly activity. Because as far as I'm concerned, that is one. And secondly, there must be a way of kind of identifying where the arms are, especially in the wrong hands. Because these arms are still moving around, and more of these arms are coming into the country, even though our administration still is deceiving Nigerians by opening the border for Libya and others recently. Which they said they have closed those borders to prevent
Dr. Yahuza?
importation of arms into Nigeria and so on and so forth, which I didn't believe. I disagree.
Dr. Yahuza, sadly, we've run out of time.
Politically motivated. So, of course,
yes, thank you so much, Dr. Yahuza. Thank you so much for your contribution on this topic today. We've run out of time. Hopefully we'll have you soon for an in-depth discussion. Thank you so much, Dr. Yahuza. All right, we also have Dr. Stephen Okori, yes, in the studio. Thank you so much. Sorry, Mr. Stephen Okori, yes, a security consultant. Thank you so much for your perspectives on, insecurity. And we'll have you again some other time for an in-depth, analysis on insecurity. Thank you so much.